Long-distance relationships present unique challenges that can test even the strongest bonds. Time apart, distance, and the lack of physical connection can create doubt, insecurity, and anxiety. But what if I told you that the ancient philosophy of Stoicism holds the key to navigating these trials with calm, strength, and wisdom? Stoicism, founded by Zeno of Citium, emphasizes endurance, emotional resilience, and focusing on what we can control. Its core principles provide a timeless guide for enduring difficulties, including the trials of long-distance love. In this script, we'll explore Stoic approaches to maintaining long-distance relationships and how they can help you build a strong, resilient connection with your partner, no matter the distance. Firstly, accepting what you can't control. In long-distance relationships, one of the most important things to understand is that you cannot control the physical separation between you and your partner. This distance is a reality that neither person can change in the short term. By applying Stoic principles, you can focus on controlling your reactions and emotions to this separation. Dealing with uncertainty and anxiety. Long-distance relationships often come with uncertainty. You may not know when you'll see your partner again, and this can lead to feelings of anxiety or frustration. Stoicism teaches that anxiety stems from trying to control what is beyond your grasp. Epictetus said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." Rather than being consumed by the uncertainty of when you'll next be together, use this time to cultivate patience and acceptance. Each time anxiety about the future arises, remind yourself that the present moment is all that truly exists. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to strengthen my relationship? This might involve sending a thoughtful message, expressing gratitude, or simply practicing mindfulness. Example: focus on actions, not outcomes. Let's take an example of a couple named John and Sarah. John lives in the US, while Sarah is based in Australia. They often talk about how stressful it is not knowing when they'll be able to meet again, especially due to financial and work-related restrictions. Instead of dwelling on this uncertainty, they could shift their focus towards things they can control, such as improving communication, supporting each other's goals, and finding creative ways to maintain their emotional connection. They begin to accept that the reunion date is out of their control, and instead focus on the things they can control. As a result, their communication improves and the frustration and anxiety that used to dominate their conversations diminish. Practical application: daily check-in with yourself. When you feel overwhelmed by the uncertainty of the future, pause and take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this worry about something I can control? If the answer is no, focus your energy on the present moment. What can you do right now to improve your relationship? Communicate openly with your partner about what's within your control. Discuss ways you can both contribute to the relationship by focusing on your own actions and reactions, rather than worrying about things that are uncertain. Secondly, practicing patience and endurance. Patience is an invaluable virtue in Stoicism, particularly when navigating the time apart in long-distance relationships. Rather than yearning for time to speed up, practicing patience involves embracing the present and understanding that true endurance is about mindset, not just waiting. The nature of time in long-distance relationships. In a long-distance relationship, it's easy to feel as though you're constantly waiting for a message, a call, or the next reunion. But this state of waiting can be mentally exhausting and leaves you feeling like life is on pause until you are reunited with your partner. In Stoicism, time is viewed as something we cannot control, and wishing it away only leads to frustration. Marcus Aurelius wisely wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This Stoic concept teaches us to make the most of the present moment, instead of wishing for time to pass quickly. Think of patience not as waiting, but as actively using time to cultivate something worthwhile. If you use the time apart to grow, both personally and in the relationship, you won't feel as though you're just waiting for it to be over. The separation becomes an opportunity to build resilience. Example: reframing the waiting period. Consider a couple, Maria and Alex, who are in a long-distance relationship. Alex is finishing medical school, and Maria is working abroad. Instead of seeing this time as merely waiting for Alex to finish school so they can live together, they shift their mindset. They both decide to use this time productively. Maria focuses on mastering new skills in her job, and Alex sets goals for physical fitness and mental health. Every time they connect, they share their individual growth and how they're using this time to improve both themselves and their relationship. This mindset of purposeful endurance helps them feel empowered rather than stuck in a state of waiting. Practical application. Create personal growth goals. Each partner should set goals that focus on personal development during the time apart. This can include learning a new skill, starting a fitness routine, or working on mental health. When you reunite, you'll both have grown as individuals and your relationship will be stronger for it. Celebrate milestones. Instead of focusing solely on when you will be together again, celebrate smaller milestones, such as finishing a project, reaching a fitness goal, or learning something new. These milestones give you something positive to focus on during the time apart. Third, practicing virtue in communication. In Stoicism, virtue is the highest good, and in relationships, this can translate to how you communicate with your partner. Long-distance relationships rely heavily on communication, which can be both a strength and a challenge. Practicing virtue in communication ensures that your exchanges are grounded in honesty, respect, and kindness. Building honest and thoughtful communication. Stoicism teaches that virtuous communication is key to harmonious relationships. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the importance of speaking with purpose and not wasting time on unproductive arguments. Say only what is necessary. Don't waste words. In long-distance relationships where communication often takes place through calls or texts, it's easy to misinterpret tone or intent. Practicing Stoicism means making an effort to communicate clearly and without unnecessary drama. It means actively choosing words that promote understanding and empathy, rather than conflict. Example: avoiding miscommunication. Let's imagine Tom and Emily, who are in a long-distance relationship. One day, Tom is late responding to Emily's message because he had a busy day at work. Emily, feeling neglected, sends him an emotional message accusing him of ignoring her. Tom feels attacked and responds defensively, leading to a fight. Using Stoic communication principles, Emily could have paused and reflected before sending her message. Instead of reacting impulsively, she might consider, what outcome do I want from this conversation? Rather than an accusatory message, she could express her feelings calmly and allow Tom to explain. By choosing her words thoughtfully, Emily could prevent unnecessary conflict, and they could resolve the situation more calmly. Practical application. Pause before reacting. Before responding to your partner's message, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself if your response is necessary, constructive, and aligned with your values. If you're feeling emotional, it's often best to wait until you're calm to respond. Listen actively. In Stoicism, listening is as important as speaking. Make an effort to listen carefully to your partner's words, rather than jumping to conclusions or planning your response while they're still speaking. Active listening builds mutual respect and reduces the risk of misunderstandings. Fourth, embracing resilience. Long-distance relationships test your emotional resilience. There will be tough days, moments of loneliness, and times when the separation feels unbearable. But in Stoicism, obstacles are seen as opportunities to grow stronger, turning obstacles into opportunities. One of the key teachings in Stoicism is that every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, the challenges in your long-distance relationship can actually make your bond stronger if you approach them with the right mindset. Resilience is about enduring hardship while maintaining a sense of purpose and direction. It's about accepting the difficulties of being apart and viewing them as a necessary part of your journey together. Example: Enduring through tough times. Imagine Laura and James, who have been in a long-distance relationship for 3 years. During the pandemic, they went through long stretches of time without being able to see each other. There were moments when the distance felt overwhelming, and they wondered if it was all worth it. Instead of giving in to frustration, they embraced the Stoic approach of turning obstacles into opportunities. They used the separation to strengthen their emotional resilience, finding new ways to connect and support each other, such as virtual movie nights and sending care packages. The difficulty of the distance ultimately deepened their appreciation for each other and made their reunion that much sweeter. Practical application. Reframe challenges as opportunities. When faced with a difficult situation in your relationship, ask yourself, how can I use this challenge to strengthen our bond? Rather than viewing obstacles as insurmountable, see them as stepping stones toward growth. Cultivate emotional resilience. Make time for self-care and emotional well-being. Long-distance relationships can be emotionally taxing, so it's important to build your resilience through mindfulness, journaling, or practicing gratitude. Resilience doesn't mean ignoring your feelings, but rather accepting them without letting them dictate your actions. Chapter 5. Building Trust Through Stoic Principles. Trust is the foundation of any strong relationship, and in long-distance relationships it becomes even more critical. Stoicism provides a framework for building trust through honesty, consistency, and integrity. Consistency in actions and words. In Stoicism, trust is built through consistent actions, not just words. Epictetus teaches that we should live in accordance with our values and principles. This means being reliable and following through on promises. In a long-distance relationship, where physical presence is lacking, trust must be cultivated through consistent and virtuous behavior. Example, the power of integrity. Consider a couple, Daniel and Mia, who live in different countries. They make a point of being transparent with each other about their daily lives, sharing both the good and the bad. Daniel makes a promise to Mia that they will always have a video call every weekend, no matter how busy they are. Over time, this consistent action builds a deep sense of trust between them, as Mia knows she can rely on Daniel to keep his word. In contrast, a lack of consistency, promising to call and then canceling without explanation, or withholding information about important life events, can erode trust over time. Practical application. Follow through on promises. If you make a commitment to your partner, whether it's a scheduled call or a future plan, follow through on it. Consistency in actions reinforces trust. Be transparent. Transparency means being open about your thoughts, feelings, and actions. If something significant happens in your life, share it with your partner, even if it seems small. Transparency eliminates the space for doubt and builds trust. Sixth, managing loneliness with stoicism. Loneliness is one of the most challenging aspects of long-distance relationships. The lack of physical presence can lead to feelings of isolation, but stoicism offers a way to manage these emotions. Self-sufficiency and emotional independence. In stoicism, true happiness comes from within, not from external sources. Epictetus teaches that relying on others for our happiness is a path to disappointment. This doesn't mean detaching from your partner, but rather cultivating emotional self-sufficiency. Example, finding strength in solitude. Take the example of Rachel, who often feels lonely when her partner Mark is away for extended periods. Instead of allowing loneliness to consume her, she practices stoic self-sufficiency. She takes up new hobbies, spends time with friends, and invests in her personal growth. This sense of independence not only helps Rachel manage her loneliness, but also strengthens her relationship with Mark, as she brings new energy and fulfillment into their connection. Practical application. Develop emotional self-sufficiency. Focus on activities that bring you joy and fulfillment outside of your relationship. Whether it's pursuing a hobby, spending time with friends, or working on personal goals, emotional independence makes you more resilient to feelings of loneliness. Stay connected with yourself. When loneliness arises, take time to reflect on your own needs and feelings. Journaling or meditation can help you process emotions without becoming overwhelmed by them. Seventh, gratitude and positivity. Gratitude is an essential part of Stoic practice and can help you stay positive even during difficult times in a long-distance relationship. The power of gratitude in relationships. Seneca reminds us that it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. In a long-distance relationship, it's easy to focus on what you're missing, the physical presence of your partner, shared experiences, or everyday moments. Practicing gratitude shifts the focus from what you lack to what you have. Example, fostering gratitude. Consider a couple, Laura and Ben, who live in different countries. Instead of constantly wishing they could be together, they make a point of expressing gratitude for each other every day. Laura is grateful for Ben's thoughtful messages, while Ben appreciates Laura's support and encouragement. This daily practice of gratitude helps them maintain a positive outlook on their relationship, even when they are apart. Practical application: start a gratitude journal. Each day, write down one thing you're grateful for in your relationship. Whether it's a kind message, a shared memory, or simply the fact that you're both working towards a future together. Focusing on gratitude helps shift your perspective. Celebrate the small wins. In long-distance relationships, even small moments of connection can be worth celebrating. Whether it's a phone call, a thoughtful message, or a virtual date, make an effort to acknowledge and appreciate these moments. Eighth, strengthen your long-distance relationship. As you navigate your long-distance relationship with Stoic principles, you'll find yourself better equipped to handle the emotional ups and downs. Here's the key takeaway. Distance is not a barrier, but an opportunity to cultivate patience, resilience, trust, and gratitude. Embrace the journey together. The Stoic approach to long-distance relationships is about focusing on what's within your control, your actions, your reactions, and your mindset. Rather than seeing distance as a burden, embrace it as an opportunity to grow both individually and as a couple. Ninth, cultivating emotional stability with Stoicism. In long-distance relationships, emotions often fluctuate between feelings of deep connection and moments of insecurity or doubt. Without the daily physical presence of a partner, it's natural to feel uncertain at times. However, Stoicism emphasizes the importance of cultivating emotional stability, which helps keep those emotional highs and lows in check. Understanding emotional triggers. Seneca advised, "He who suffers before it is necessary, suffers more than is necessary." This Stoic principle reminds us not to let emotions rule our thoughts, especially emotions that are rooted in hypothetical scenarios. Many times, insecurity or doubt in a long-distance relationship is not based on reality, but on fears of what could go wrong. Stoicism teaches that emotions are responses to our judgments and perceptions. For instance, if a partner doesn't immediately respond to a message, the automatic assumption might be that something is wrong, leading to feelings of anxiety. By recognizing the thought patterns that trigger emotional reactions, we can intervene and question the validity of these assumptions before they escalate. Example: controlling emotional reactions. Imagine a couple, Sarah and Mike, who are in a long-distance relationship. One evening, Sarah sends Mike a text message, but several hours pass and she doesn't receive a response. Her mind begins to spiral with hypothetical situations. What if he's ignoring me? What if something is wrong? This creates unnecessary emotional distress. However, applying Stoic principles, Sarah can pause and ask herself, is my emotional reaction based on facts or assumptions? She acknowledges that her insecurity is rooted in fear, not reality, and focuses instead on remaining calm until Mike has the opportunity to respond. Practical application. Question your thoughts. Before allowing emotions to take control, ask yourself whether your feelings are based on reality or assumptions. Separate fact from emotion. Develop emotional awareness. Practice recognizing emotional triggers. When you feel anxiety or doubt creeping in, take a moment to reflect on the situation. Are your thoughts clouding your judgment, or is there a valid reason for concern? 10th, Overcoming jealousy through Stoic wisdom. Jealousy is a common challenge in long-distance relationships. The inability to be physically present with your partner can create feelings of insecurity, and the imagination can run wild when you're unsure of what your partner is doing. Stoicism offers valuable insights into overcoming jealousy by focusing on what's within your control, recognizing jealousy as an internal struggle. In Stoicism, emotions like jealousy are seen as reflections of internal struggles rather than external realities. Epictetus teaches, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." Jealousy arises from the belief that someone or something could pose a threat to the relationship, but Stoicism encourages us to look inward and address the root cause. Instead of focusing on external factors, such as who your partner spends time with, ask yourself why you feel threatened. Is the jealousy stemming from a lack of self-confidence or a fear of being unworthy of love? Addressing these internal insecurities can help dismantle the destructive power of jealousy. Example: addressing jealousy through self-reflection. Let's consider Hannah and David, a couple in a long-distance relationship. Hannah sometimes feels jealous when David goes out with friends, especially if there are other women involved. Instead of letting jealousy fester, Hannah uses Stoic principles to examine why she feels this way. She realizes that her jealousy is rooted in her own insecurity and fear of losing David. Instead of confronting David in anger, she works on her self-esteem and focuses on the strength of their relationship. By addressing the internal root of her jealousy, she frees herself from the destructive cycle of comparison and fear. Practical application: self-reflection. When jealousy arises, take a step back and reflect on its root cause. Is it stemming from your own insecurity or fear? Focus on building self-confidence and trust in your relationship. Open communication. While jealousy is often an internal struggle, it's also important to communicate your feelings with your partner in a calm and honest way. Discuss any insecurities without blame or accusation, and work together to strengthen your bond. 11th, practicing detachment without indifference. In Stoicism, the practice of detachment is central to maintaining inner peace. However, many people mistakenly believe that detachment means indifference. In a long-distance relationship, it's important to practice healthy detachment, focusing on your own emotional well-being without disconnecting from your partner emotionally. Understanding Stoic detachment. Marcus Aurelius said, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." Stoic detachment doesn't mean that you don't care about your relationship or your partner. Rather, it means that you aren't overly attached to outcomes beyond your control. In long-distance relationships, this means accepting that you can't control every aspect of your partner's life or emotions. By practicing detachment, you free yourself from the anxiety of trying to control things you cannot. You stop worrying about how often you'll see your partner or how they spend their time when you're apart, and instead you trust the foundation of your relationship. Example: letting go of attachment to outcomes. Consider a couple, Jenna and Luke, who are navigating the challenges of long distance. Jenna often feels anxious about when they'll be able to meet next. Instead of enjoying the present, she constantly worries about their future plans and becomes attached to specific outcomes, such as booking flights or planning visits. By embracing Stoic detachment, Jenna learns to let go of her attachment to these outcomes. She focuses on the present moment, appreciating the conversations and experiences they share, rather than fixating on the uncertainty of future plans. This reduces her anxiety and allows her to be more present in their relationship. Practical application: focus on the present. Instead of worrying about future outcomes, practice being fully present in your relationship. Enjoy the conversations and experiences you share now, rather than fixating on when you'll next be together. Release control. Accept that you cannot control every aspect of your partner's life or the future of your relationship. Let go of the need to control outcomes and trust that your relationship is strong enough to withstand the distance. 12th, finding strength in vulnerability. Stoicism is often associated with emotional toughness, but it also teaches the importance of vulnerability. of being open and honest about your feelings while maintaining emotional control. In long-distance relationships, vulnerability plays a crucial role in maintaining emotional intimacy and trust. Embracing vulnerability with emotional control. Seneca reminds us that no man was ever wise by chance. In Stoicism, wisdom comes from understanding both our strengths and weaknesses, including our emotional vulnerabilities. In long-distance relationships, expressing vulnerability can strengthen emotional intimacy, as it allows both partners to connect on a deeper level. However, vulnerability does not mean letting emotions take over. Stoicism teaches emotional control, which means expressing feelings honestly without letting them dominate your actions. You can communicate feelings of loneliness, fear, or doubt with calmness and composure, fostering open dialogue without creating unnecessary tension. Example: honest communication about vulnerability. Consider a couple, Nathan and Emma, who have been apart for several months. Nathan feels vulnerable because he worries about their connection weakening over time. Instead of bottling up these feelings, he chooses to share his concerns with Emma. Using Stoic principles, Nathan expresses his vulnerability with emotional control. He calmly shares that he misses their physical presence, but also reassures Emma that he trusts their bond. This honest communication deepens their emotional connection and reassures both partners that they are in this together. Practical application: be open about your feelings. Don't be afraid to express vulnerability in your relationship. Communicate openly about feelings of loneliness or insecurity, but do so with emotional control. Avoid letting your emotions dominate the conversation. Create a safe space for vulnerability. Encourage your partner to share their feelings as well. By creating a safe and non-judgmental space for open communication, both partners can strengthen emotional intimacy despite the distance. 13th, Stoic approaches to dealing with conflict. Conflict is inevitable in any relationship, and long-distance relationships are no exception. Miscommunications, frustrations, or unmet expectations can lead to arguments. Stoicism provides valuable tools for navigating conflict with grace, understanding, and emotional composure. Responding instead of reacting. In Stoicism, one of the key teachings is the ability to respond to situations thoughtfully, rather than reacting impulsively. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This principle is especially important during conflicts in a long-distance relationship. When emotions run high, it's easy to react in the heat of the moment. However, Stoicism encourages us to take a step back, pause, and reflect before responding. This allows us to communicate more effectively and resolve conflicts without letting emotions cloud our judgment. Example: handling conflict with composure. Imagine a couple, Alex and Jessica, who have a disagreement about their future plans. Alex wants to move to a new city for a job opportunity, but Jessica feels anxious about the distance this might create between them. Instead of reacting impulsively, Alex practices stoic reflection. He takes a moment to pause, considers Jessica's perspective, and responds calmly. By focusing on a productive solution rather than reacting emotionally, they are able to discuss their concerns openly and find common ground. Practical application: pause before responding. In moments of conflict, practice the Stoic principle of pausing before reacting. Take a moment to collect your thoughts and approach the conversation with calmness and clarity. Focus on solutions, not blame. In conflict, avoid blaming or criticizing your partner. Instead, focus on finding a solution that works for both of you. Approach the issue with the mindset that you are on the same team, working towards the same goal. 14th, building a vision for the future. One of the most important aspects of long-distance relationships is having a shared vision for the future. While Stoicism teaches us to live in the present, it also encourages us to plan for the future with wisdom and foresight. In a long-distance relationship, this means setting goals together and envisioning a time when you can be reunited. The Stoic approach to future planning. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now, take what's left and live it properly." This Stoic principle encourages us to make the most of the time we have and to approach the future with intention and purpose. In a long-distance relationship, it's important to have a shared plan for the future, whether that involves moving to the same city, traveling together, or making other significant life changes. By having a clear vision, both partners can remain focused on the end goal, which provides motivation and reassurance during difficult times. Example: setting future goals together. Consider a couple, Rachel and Tom, who are in a long-distance relationship due to their careers. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the distance, they decide to create a shared vision for their future. They discuss their long-term goals, such as eventually moving to the same city and starting a life together. By focusing on this shared vision, Rachel and Tom are able to stay motivated during the time apart. They both know that their efforts are leading to a common goal, which makes the challenges of long distance more bearable. Practical application. Create a shared vision. Discuss your long-term goals with your partner and create a shared vision for the future. Whether it's making plans to live in the same city or planning visits, having a clear goal in mind helps you both stay focused and motivated. Stay flexible. While it's important to have a plan, also practice Stoic flexibility. Be open to the possibility that circumstances may change, and remain adaptable in your approach to future planning. 15th, strengthen your long-distance relationship. As you navigate your long-distance relationship with Stoic principles, you will find yourself better equipped to handle the emotional ups and downs, challenges of communication, and the patience required to maintain a strong connection. Distance is not a barrier. It is an opportunity to cultivate resilience, trust, gratitude, and emotional strength. With the wisdom of Stoicism, you can transform the challenges of a long-distance relationship into powerful growth for both you and your partner. Final call to action. Now is the time to take these Stoic approaches and apply them to your long-distance relationship. Build trust through consistent actions, communicate with clarity and emotional control, and face each challenge with resilience. Embrace the journey together and remember that with the right mindset, love can endure any distance. Make a commitment today to strengthen your relationship by practicing patience, resilience, and gratitude. Focus on the present while building a shared vision for the future. Each day you practice Stoic principles. You build a stronger, more resilient bond with your partner. Let Stoicism be the guide that transforms your long-distance relationship into one of growth, trust, and unwavering love. Thank you for watching. If you found these Stoic principles helpful for navigating your long-distance relationship, take a moment to reflect on how you can apply them in your own life. Start by focusing on what's in your control, building trust, and staying emotionally resilient. Remember, distance doesn't have to weaken your bond. It can make it stronger. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video that could help you improve your relationships and your life. Share this video with someone who could benefit from Stoic wisdom, and let's build a community of strong, resilient relationships together. Stay strong, stay Stoic, and keep working on your journey toward a better, more connected relationship, no matter the distance.